Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto back with you at the Credit Card Connection. I'm so glad you can join me. Well, mi gente, sometimes we open up credit cards that we need, and then we open up credit cards that we want. The credit card I'm going to talk to you about today was a little bit of both. About a year ago, last July, actually 2023, I wanted and needed the American Express Gold Business Card because I had a big expense coming up at my other location to put in an AC, and I got an awesome redemption for 100,000 points, MR points, with 10,000 spent in 6 months. It was a special that they were offering through an incognito mode that instead of 3 months, I had 6 months to meet the $10,000 spent. So I did it. I was able to meet that spend with no problem. But I also thought that I was going to be able to utilize that card for what it's intended, for business. And because it had allegedly a wide array of categories where the multipliers were 4 times in your 2 highest categories, I figured this was a no-brainer, right? But like I always tell you guys, at the end of every year, when that fee comes up for renewal, when a card renewal hits your statement, you should literally do all that you can to go over it, see if it still meets the needs that you thought it was going to meet, see if you still need it, and see if economically it makes sense. So what you saw on the thumbnail, it wasn't bashing Amex or being that I'm mad at Amex. It's the truth that 1 year later, this card just didn't make sense for me. So today I'm going to go over that, why I came up with that conclusion, why I still say it's a good card. It's just not good for me. But I want you guys to know what my thought process was in getting there. So if you like that, do me a favor, mi gente, hit that like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, mi gente. And thanks again, by the way, for getting me this past week to 4,000 subscribers. That's a huge number for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm really honored and humbled by that. And that you guys give me that much time to just come out and see what I'm talking about. So I appreciate you. I really, really do. So let's jump into it, mi gente. So you're going to see, like I always tell you, I'm going to bounce back and forth because there's a lot of information here to take in. I'm also going to show you the card that I ended up canceling, the version of it. And also behind me later on in the video, I'm going to actually show you snapshots of the chat that I had with the American Express representative when I called in about this card. Okay, so let's go. First and foremost, right now, the American Express Business Gold Card on their website, so it's not even an incognito mode, is offering 100,000 membership rewards points if you spend $15,000 eligible spend in the first 3 months. However, to sweeten the deal a little bit, they're giving you, I've never seen this before on an Amex charge card, 0% APR for the first 6 months. That's huge, guys. So if you have a big spend coming on your business, they're giving you 6 months interest free. And that's huge. So for me, like I said, it's not that this was a bad card. And actually a lot of media markets say that this is one of the best cards for business that you can get. It's just that for me, like I said, right now, it's just not in literal the cards. Okay. So here's what that gives you. You're going to get 4 times on every dollar spent in various categories. And I'm going to go over these with you now, guys. So the first is you're going to get them on purchases made in the US for electronic goods, retailers, software, and cloud system providers, or purchases at US media providers for advertising. So like online, TV, radio, you're going to get a monthly wireless telephone service charges made directly with the provider. US restaurants and dining, including takeout and delivery, transit purchases, trains, taxis, ferries, tolls, parking, things like that, Ubers, and then US purchases at gas stations. So you could see if you're a business that spends in any one of these categories, It's huge. It'll give you the two highest where you have the most spend and give you the 4 times for that particular spend. However, about a year ago or so, they increased the annual fee from where I was paying $295 a year to $375 a year. So that kind of hit hard. I was like, okay, I can manage it under 300, but now it's pushing 400. And I would need to make a lot of crazy spend on it. In the past year, the problem was after I made the big spend on replacing an air conditioning system in Florida, that's where my spend finished on it. And you're going to see why. Even though it seems like there's a lot of categories here, my main issue was the following. I took out the card and intended it to be used for just business. I know you can use it for whatever you want. A lot of people say no one's ever going to check this and that. But I had in mind when I first opened this card, it was strictly business. So the charges I was doing, I wasn't using it for personal dining or going to take out food or anything like that. So that didn't qualify for me. I get a bigger discount keeping my cell phone with my Fios TV through Verizon. I get bigger discounts across the board than I would get with their 4 times multiplier. So that is useless for me. I'm not buying any electronic goods right now from their specific retailers or any cloud system services to that extent. So that doesn't work for me. Now, that leaves me with transit, US gas purchases, and the media providers for advertising. I have an EV. They don't include EV charging. So the gas doesn't count for me. That leaves me with transit purchases, including trains, taxis, and ride shares. Like I said, I basically work from home, mi gente. And unless it's traveling somewhere for business where I'm going to a different location or something like that, that's really not coming into play. So that left me with the one place that I thought I could use it, which was US media providers for advertising, marketing. Here was a problem. I had charges through Google, through Canva, through CapCut, Apple. I was paying for extra space for my cloud uploads and things like that, my video uploads, Streamyard, you name it, I was using it. The problem was that those particular retailers and merchants, the codes that they were using, according to American Express, were not coded for them to give me the 4 points. I was getting 1 point. I had to keep calling American Express and saying to them, hey, what's wrong here? I'm giving you a couple of $100s a month of charges, but I'm only getting 1 point. It should be 4 times the amount. They said it wasn't an American Express issue. They said it was the merchant's use of codes. However, when I switched those to Chase on the ink cards, it coded for them. And I'm getting with Chase 3 times. So my choices were stick with Amex Gold, get 1 times, or go to Chase and get their ultimate rewards points and get 3 times on the things that were coding. So it was a no-brainer for me. The card, although a very strong card across all of these categories, especially if your business is able to use them, is a no-brainer to get, especially when you're going to get a huge limit. I think I had, even though technically they don't give you a limit, but I had a limit here of $30,000 at my disposal, which was huge if I was going to use it, right? But if I'm not using it, why pay the $375? And this is the other thing you're going to get. $240 in flexible business credit, as they call it, where you're going to get a $20 statement for use on FedEx, Grubhub, and office supply stores. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why don't you just go to Staples or Office Depot and get gift cards? I can't stand jumping through hoops to use something because guess what? I don't really need those supplies. I'm using it to kind of offset the $375 now annual fee for it. The same with the Walmart Plus membership credit. Why this has a Walmart Plus membership credit blows my mind, because I already have that with the Platinum to begin with. But really, what are you going to get from Walmart for the business? It just kind of threw me, unless you're buying food supplies and whatever from them. But then that wouldn't, I don't know how that would actually code. So even on their website, it says that you can earn up to $3.95 in cashback statement, annually if you use these items from Grubhub or FedEx or whatever. I don't ship, so I don't use it. I've never used Grubhub once in my life, and I didn't want to go through hoops to get gift cards. So that kind of deaded that for me, okay? Now, the cell phone protection, when I buy my phones, I already had the double the warranty when I bought it with Amex to begin with. I'm not going to use that either. So again, there's certain things that the card offers. So maybe because I have so many cards and my hands in so many places for businesses and things like that, business cards and personal cards that I can utilize, this just didn't really stand out for me in any one particular category. So here's what I did. When I got the statement saying, okay, your annual $375 due, I said, let me look my stuff over. And I noticed that the expenditure was basically on that one big ticket purchase item last summer. And I never used the card again for anything else, really, for any other category, other than the what I was trying to get credit for, and they weren't giving it to me. So I decided to go via chat to American Express. Now, we're going back and forth. They're telling me, well, you can get this multiplier, the usual. And I knew what to expect because I've done it before. I canceled my American Express Gold because I wasn't able to utilize those multipliers on that card. I did that back in February. So I'm going to show you guys, and I have it right here because before I reached out to Amex to cancel the card, the new white gold had just come out for both the personal and the business. And here's my white gold card, okay? Pretty card, says there, member since 89, but we all know that it's when you became an American Express member that sticks to your cards, and that's why that's there. I haven't had this card since 1989, but nice card, nice and metal, right? You could hear it. But I wanted to get this card before I canceled it because I knew it was supposed to be some sort of limited edition. So when I'm on the chat with the young man to try to square this away and see what they had to offer, I told him, I said, look, if you had a better business green card, I would downgrade to a business green because the personal green card is a beast for points. But if you have the business green card for Amex, they're only giving you 2 times on any travel you do through their portal. That's it. It's 2 times through their portal. Call it a day. Not worth it at all. It is, as my friend Sledge would say, trash, 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 right? So when I went on the chat and they're telling me, well, you spent on this, you have access for your business to go to FedEx and get the credits for this, and you'll get 3 times if you're going to fly and go. But I have a platinum card that gives me 5 times, and it's not as limiting on travel. I have the green card that gives me the same. I'll get 3 times if I need it for tolls, ferries, and everything else, as well as dining. Plus, like I said, I wanted to keep the business part separate. So here was what the American Express customer service rep offered me via chat. He said, okay, how about this for an offer? And I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I appreciated the fact that he was trying to give me some sort of deal. But he said, we want to wish you, or we wish for you to retain this card because you are such a valued card member. I can issue you 10,000 membership rewards points that will be applied to your account after you spend a minimum of $5,000. $5,000 on qualifying purchases on your card over a 92-day period, starting from today. He goes, your $5,000 spend will also earn rewards that can add up to the 10K reward that can help you to cover the charges on the card. Would you like to grab this offer? And he goes, just checking, are you still with me? I'm not even kidding, guys. I'll put this up in the back. And I said, no, thank you. 5,000 in 3 months just doesn't make economic sense for me. If you look at the charges I have made in the past year, you can see that I do not have that type of spend. And for 10,000 MR points, that's equivalent to $100 in cash. Spending 5K doesn't make any sense to me. Which then he wrote to me, he goes, well, the card benefits have been expanded and now you get Walmart Plus. And he says, there's also 240 flexible business credit, which is what I just told you, Grubhub, FedEx, and the supply stores. And I said, I have not used the supply store credit at all. I don't ship or use those services. And I'm not able to use the card for those reasons. In addition, the increase in the annual fee, it just doesn't make sense at this price point. And then he wrote, I get your point on that. Before you decide, I do see that you have an available offer. And then he went right back to saying the 10,000, membership rewards points for 5,000. And, he said, I checked your account. I don't see any other offers. However, in terms of the annual fee, we do offer the option to downgrade to the Business Green Rewards Card. And this will ensure a prorated refund of the Business Gold Card fee. And we could keep your APR at the same. Would you like this? I said, thank you, but the Green only offers 2 times on travel through the portal. I would never use it. So, mi gente, I tell you all of that and I share that news with you because that's why I canceled the card. It's not that it's a bad card. It's just not a good card for me. To be honest with you, I probably would get a better bang for my buck paying $695 for the Business Platinum because what they're offering there, especially with their Dell credits and things like that, would work better for me. Plus, I would also be able to get the lounge access, right? Things like that even though I have the regular Platinum card, but at least I can see more usable, points to that. But this card, it's not that it's a bad card. It's a good card. It might be great for you, but I always tell you, full transparency. If it would have been worth it, I would have kept it. But I tell you, sometimes we just do things, like I did last year. I was happy to get the card, but right now, a year later, I reevaluated it and it doesn't make economic sense. So if you're looking for a gold card or a business card or any cards like that, you could check in the description box below. I do have my referral links there for American Express, for Chase, for Capital One. So you can utilize that. And right now with this high offer of 100,000 points, it might be worth it to you. So please feel free to check the referral. It also helps the channel. I'm not going to lie. But again, for me at this point on August 11th, as I record this 2024, the American Express gold, or in that case, white gold card that I had just didn't make sense. So I canceled it. So mi gente, like always, you could be anywhere else. You chose to be here. So I thank you for that. But more than anything else, mi gente, I thank you for giving me the privilege of your time. Until next time, mi gente, take care.